we established our niche that we are only an organization which is focusing on certification, which is focusing on driving dive education into the schools, into colleges. Not only as an opportunity to learn an adventure sport, which is a life skill, because once you get a certification card, you're certified for life. There's no renewal required. So it's a life skill that you get. So we targeted that. We targeted those specific aspects of what a dive course should be. And all this we did on our own. I mean, myself and Rajan, we sat together and worked out what needs to be done. But we did a lot of preparation. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it. It is a lot of sleepless nights, but it's worth it. So in any organization, whether at whichever level of management, this is my experience after being in the civil world for the past 5 years. The team is the most important part. So that, I mean, who are the people in the team and what are their goals? Are they able to align their goals together? So right from the beginning, between me and Rajan, we had a very clear understanding that he is a diver. He is the professional diver. So I actually started diving after I opened my company. I never dived in the Navy. So and I'm a master scuba diver now, and I'm proud of it. I've done more than 120 dives.
Amazing.
Hiring is very important in this industry because it's a very, very people-oriented industry. If you have the wrong person at the front of it, it's all going to collapse. So he used to help me hire people because he knew the people in the industry. So he used to help me source people. He used to help me source the equipment. And I focused completely on business development. And that synergy has worked very well. And we are still doing that.
Since you have come a long way after setting up this venture, tell me your experience in the armed forces. How has it helped you in this journey? I mean, when you now today you can say that you are a founder and you are running a dive center, and when you meet the founders of other dive centers, when you interact with them, what do you feel that this is where a veteran has that edge?
So let me put it in a couple of basic points. The first advantage that we have as armed forces officers, armed forces veterans, is our ability to be disciplined. So we take discipline in the right way. We may not ourselves may have had our reservations with it while we were in the forces. Sometimes we have also complained. I don't disagree with that, but it's only in retrospect that you realize how much value the discipline has given to you, because that discipline puts you directly at a different level when you're interacting with people, your clients, even your business to business interactions. The person on the other side instantly connects with your discipline, because you have the tendency to be always on time. You have the tendency to do what you've committed to do because we're used to it. So that has helped a lot. And that discipline, I will disagree with anyone who says that it doesn't help. It helps a huge amount in taking things forward, and especially also it gives you the discipline of persevering and continuing to work, putting the hard work where required. I have lifted tanks. When I started the company, I used to lift tanks. I used to move around in the boat. I used to help my divers in the boat. They are the professionals. They're diving. I used to actually work like a person in the boat, like a, what do you say, like a helper. I never felt bad about doing it. Thing is, on the flip side, I would say what we need as veterans, a weakness which I can put out, I can say is we need to adapt the civilian world. So that takes a bit of effort, takes a bit of mental training, not to expect the same kind of response from your staff, from the people you interact with, from people who the civilian interactions that you have, and it grows multifold once you're out of the Navy. You have to work it around, inspire people to do the right thing. That's the right word, I would say. You will have to inspire them to do it.
Yeah.
You have to lead by example, as you always do it in the armed forces.
Mhm.
So these are the two sides of it. But yes, the training that you receive as a person, I'm not talking about the specific armed forces training, because that's an area which you leave behind once you come out. But the personality development training that happens throughout your career, right, starting right from the National Defense Academy or the Naval Academy, or even the orientation courses, whatever, all the way up to commander, captain, commodore levels. All that helps a lot in assimilating things faster, understanding human behavior, understanding what these people are trying to tell you, even identifying what is a good deal actually helps from our past training.
Okay.
You can actually make out when people are lying. I know, I'm not joking.
Okay.
Because we are so used to doing it inside the armed forces, you can make out what people are lying, and you know that it's not going to work out with you, so you can just step away. And
I think I totally agree with you. As veterans, you do have a gut feeling about after meeting someone, and when you feel that is he the right person, he or she the right person to go through or not.
yeah, so
I totally
that training gives you that edge. The training
Yeah.
gives you that edge, and it is up to us. That's a very important point I would like to add here. It is up to us how to leverage.
Yeah.
So if we leverage it in the wrong direction of trying to impose our discipline on people, it will not work.
Okay.
We have to leverage it in such a way that we can inspire people to work with us in a good manner, and they themselves want to work with an organization which is owned and run by veterans.
Out of 24 hours in a day, as of today, what is that one thing you focus on? Let's say you would spend 10 hours a day doing only this. So being an entrepreneur, what is that one aspect you focus on, completely?
I would like to put it in a slightly different way. A lot of people would probably say I'm focused on marketing, I'm focused on business development, networking, and things like that. All of this is there.
Yeah.
But I would say what an entrepreneur should focus on, especially an entrepreneur who is from the armed forces without business experience, should focus on learning.
Okay.
I spend almost all my time learning.
Okay.
So if I don't do that, I know I cannot succeed. That's my feeling. No?
Okay.
So that's why I have joined some organizations. I've joined networking organizations. I have done additional training. I just try and find things which I can train on. I've even gone to a mind coach.
Okay.
And did a few sessions with her just to learn how to control my stresses. And it was more about learning than anything else. It's not that I was going through something major. It was just to learn. And then I've taken up courses with business coaches to understand time management. I have taken up courses with them to understand money management, how to manage your finances better. So it's constantly a learning process, and if you are willing to do that, believe me.
So what you mean to say is, despite your years in service, despite founding a company, investing in yourself happens to be the biggest ROI.
Absolutely, and it should start before you leave. That is my advice to people who are trying to leave. Obviously, becoming an entrepreneur is I would say there's a lot of there's an element of risk, financial risk, and that financial risk is very difficult for veterans to digest.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to having a constant salary, you're going to get a pension, and you have put money in savings only in a provident fund, things of that sort. So you're not really used to taking financial risk. So it's not easy. So I actually look for people tend to even I was advised by some people, they said, come on, yeah, now it's time to have fun. Let's sit back, chill. No need to put in effort. Do your bare minimum and just pass your time.
Yeah.
And I would like to put this very clearly in the public domain. That I refuse to do that.
Yeah.
And I refuse to do that, not because I'm some kind of a patriotic kink in my head or something like that. It's not. It's got nothing to do with that. It's for myself, because I knew that if I lost the habit of working and managing stuff, I would never be able to succeed outside. It's not going to work, because those 2 or 3 years of your transition, if you have decided not to work and sit back and chill and not put in any effort, then what happens is when you leave, you are already habituated to not putting in effort. You want your 1 hour of sleep in the afternoon, you want to do this, you want, and we have all experienced it. So you don't want to put in the effort. So if you don't want to put in the effort, then whether it's corporate or entrepreneurship, it doesn't make a difference. In the corporate field, it's cutthroat competition. They want you to perform, and they will give you the best positions. If you project yourself well and pitch for a general manager position, they will give it to you, because they know you have the talent to do it. But they will expect results in 6 months. So you have to work it off. If you don't give results, you're out. And then you can keep complaining that, I couldn't adapt, I couldn't do this, I was that. It doesn't work. So we can't look for excuses at that stage.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. I mean, a lot of insights, not only from the entrepreneurship point of view, but then the other domains where likely, people are how to go about it and, what to expect outside. Sir,
Yes.
what is the final word for a veteran who's transitioning?
I would say the final word is, as I said a little earlier, that's what I would like to convey. We have a lot of talent in the armed forces, among the officers, among the Jawans. We have a lot of talent. There is a lot of work that has been done on us to bring us to that level. I would put it that way. And we should be thankful for that and learn to leverage it. And that leverage can take you from a very basic level to something that's completely outstanding. And there are so many veterans. If you just look around, you'll find a lot of veterans do very, very well in the industry. It's a misconception in our mind that we will not be able to adapt. We need to get out of that misconception and just put it out there. I mean, you are talented. Just put it out there and just do it. And one last thing I would like to add is, do not undersell yourself. That is our biggest weakness. As a businessman, that's what I would like to say. Do not undersell. When you're outside, when you're going to meet somebody, when you're talking about it, when somebody says that, but you don't have business experience, so how do you think you can add value to the company? So then you talk about what experience you do have. And don't stick to HR and things of that sort. You just say that, you have to put it in the right way. I mean, I used to say that, I have got probably the fastest learning curve in anybody in this organization. You give me 3 months and I'll learn your business. I used to say this to an interviewer. Okay, fine, I don't have experience, but you give me 3 months, I'll learn it. And if I don't learn it, you are welcome to throw me out. You show people the confidence that you can do it and you will succeed. That's how I will put it for veterans. Don't undersell. Don't get out there and look for a junior manager position. Please look for a vice president position. You are a commander in the Navy. You've commanded ships which are worth crores of rupees. Look for a vice president position, and believe me, they will give it to you. If you pitch it right, they will give it to you. And there are veterans who have done it. There are people who have actually taken over organizations. They've gone on to become CEOs within a couple of years of leaving. And those examples are there. Just follow it. That's my last word, I would say.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. I'm sure, veterans, when they come across this video online podcast, I'm telling you, they're going to be in a different state of energy altogether. Probably some of them might, just go out and just go for it. Just execute and see what works and what doesn't work.
I'm looking for partners for my company.
Absolutely, sir. I will.
And I would love to work with veterans.
In fact, this is one of my. It is starting off as a pet project, but then the project has started mainly understanding that veterans' capabilities can be leveraged, and how best to leverage it is to connect with the veterans who are already established. rather than waiting for someone else to when are they gonna pick us up and when are they gonna build a bridge across to the other side so that we can climb over to the other side. I believe we build our own bridges and let's go ahead, and if they are,
Yeah.
that's how we go about it.